last time on Higher Ground Lifestyle.
So that is our T5, now looking like a T6.1 and ready for paint. The next time we see it, it'll be a different colour and hopefully it'll be looking really great. Well, here we are, 3 months later, and the van has indeed been painted, and that means that we're ready to complete the last few bits of the front end installation and complete our T5 to T6.1 conversion. My hair's got a little bit shorter, it's also got a little bit whiter, and my beard has gone in the meantime as well. I've done a separate video on the painting in the van, so I'm not going to talk too much about that today, but I'm really happy with the way that it's looking, and I'm so happy with the colour scheme that we've gone with. Few jobs that we now need to do that we couldn't do before the painting was done, just to finish off this front end facelift. Let's get on with those now. One of the things that really makes the T6.1 different from the T6 is the shape of the headlights at the front, and an important part also are the side emblems. And let's see how we fit those. The side emblems as supplied in the kit are the standard black transporter items, and they're just a push fit through the holes in the wing, and there's also some self-adhesive tape on the back. I'm not using those. I've decided to switch them for California ones, and that's not because I'm trying to kid anybody on that I'm driving a genuine California. I just prefer the silver finish look. Attaching the badge is just a case of cleaning the area in advance using the 2 locating pins, and the badge just pushes in and the adhesive holds it nice and firmly to the side of the van. And obviously make sure that your cable is out so that we can connect the side repeaters. The side repeaters as supplied come with one of these push fit connectors, and it's actually a direct connection into the existing T5 fitting, so there's no requirement to do anything else. Push fit. Then it's just a case of pushing them into the hole at the back of the badge. Of course, testing them. The next thing we now need to do is to fit the bumper inserts at the front. The bumper inserts come in 3 main pieces. There are 2 separate pieces for the driver's side, that's the right hand side on a UK vehicle, and 1 piece on the passenger side. And the only reason for the driver's side piece being in 2 pieces is it gives us a separate removable panel so that it's easier to put in the towing hook into the hole there, so you've only got to remove 1 small panel. Let's have a look at those now. So here are our inset pieces, and you can see the 2 pieces here that form essentially the same shape for the driver's side, and that separate removable bit in the middle. Now, before we can place those in the van, there are actually trim strips that are to be located in the panels themselves. As supplied, the pieces come in standard black. Now, you can get them painted any colour you want. I've actually chosen to replace the standard black ones with chrome, and I've already fitted them in to the bumper inserts. I've also chosen not to have the bumper inserts painted. Lots of people get them painted body colour or in gloss black, but I've chosen to go with the standard ABS black colour with those chrome inserts, simply because I want more of a factory California look. Now again, I think it's important to say that if you are thinking along the same lines as me, it's worth having a chat to your supplier, in my case Travelin-lite, and saying, guys, listen, rather than supplying the black ones, could you supply the chrome ones? And happy to pay any difference. It's a personal thing. Not everybody will like my choice, but I'm quite happy with that. And these pieces do just push in, very simply, nice, firm, push, fit. I have to say, I've seen lots of vans that make a lovely job by getting the standard pieces primed and painted, sometimes in body colour or sometimes in red or a contrasting colour, and it can look really, really good. So if you're interested in things like that, have a look at my video on getting your van painted and all the kind of different things that you might want to think about. But let's now look to put these pieces on the front of the vehicle. So these pieces are just a push fit into the slots on the side and into the front. But before I fit that, you'll also see that there's a piece here on the front that's part of the front moulding that this insert aligns with. And there's also space in that for a trim piece. So before we put this in, we'll pop the trim piece in here. So to get these pieces to properly align, you actually need to insert them slightly into the hole on the front, and then they should line up and push in. And you know when they're in place because they all line up nice and neat. Same on the other side. They're actually quite strange to fit, but you know when they're in place because there's not a pleasing click, but you can see it's all lined up and there are no gaps. So that's those pieces in place. And we can now fit the inserts on the front. So the technique that I found worked easiest here is to start by fitting at the front and then work around, then push in the edges here and then go back around and push in all the clips all around the rest. And I actually had to get my finger in behind at the back here to get some of these clips at the front located because they're really quite tight. Happy with that. The other side, as we've said, goes on in two pieces. So the first one I'm going to put on is the outside piece, and then the final bit will be the insert for the towing hook. I sometimes think with these kind of plastic jobs, you actually are more likely to cause damage by trying to be too gentle. As long as you know you've got the plastic tabs lined up, you got to really push quite firmly, and you know when it's in place because you get that lovely, nice click. So that's the aperture that we're trying to keep clear. Right at the back of that, you can just see, I think, the threaded hole where the towing eye goes. So final small cover to go on here. So for this one, I found it's easiest to clip it in on the left hand side first, and then the whole thing goes in very easily. And you can see there is a slight angle on one side as well, which helps to guide it in. And that also means when it comes to taking it out, the easy way to take it out would be to get your finger in on the right hand side and pull it out from that side. And there we have it. Cosmetically, our transfer from T5 to T6.1 is complete. But there are a couple of other things that I want to do to show you how we can also tidy up the engine compartment following this facelift. We've lifted the bonnet to reveal that lovely new slam panel. Makes the whole front end look so much nicer on the inside as well. But unfortunately, one of the things that lets the T6.1 down is even the new vans, they don't come with a battery cover and they don't come with a headlight cover, which of course we had on the T5 and the T5.1. And the problem is the T5 and the T5.1 covers just don't fit the van. However, I have managed to modify both of my covers to make them fit on the T6.1 front end. We'll have a look at that. Firstly, this is the headlight cover. I've had to make a couple of modifications to this to ensure that it fits on the T6.1 front end. There's a slot here, which I'll show you in just a second in situ and why we've had to make that. And I've also cut a large hole here, and that hole is to give clearance for the bonnet rubber so that it touches the slam panel. Let's see what that looks like in situ. So, in situ, our two securing holes line up, and that slot at the back is essentially to give clearance to the raised section on the back of the slam panel. So it's not a perfect fit, but it still looks better than the exposed headlight securing bolts. And that's that headlight cover piece now secured in place with a couple of screws. The next thing we want to look at is the battery cover and see what modifications we need to make to the T5 battery cover to make it fit this new T6.1 front end, for the same reason, to see if we can hide some of that away and just neaten up the interior installation a bit. So once again, there are a couple of things I've had to do, and this has been a process of trial and error to get the battery cover to fit. The first thing is a reasonably large clearance hole here, and again, that's to allow the bonnet rubber to sit on the slam panel rather than being obstructed by this cover. Also, there's a small clearance hole required at the side of the big hole here, and a slot that I've had to cut in the cover here for reasons that you'll see in a second when we offer it up to the vehicle. So the panel slips in along the top there, same as before, clips into the plastic uprights and sits nicely in place, ready to be attached. When we have a look at that from the top, we can see that the clearance hole here is so that we can secure the panel to the existing hole in the slam panel underneath. This big hole here, as we've said already, is so that the bonnet stay will actually fit and sit nicely on the slam panel, and that slot is so that the raised section on the back of the slam panel does not obstruct the cover and lets it sit nice and flush. There's one other thing you may have to do. You can see I've cut a slight slot at the back here, and that's just to clear the panel at the back there. But I think you'll agree, whilst it's not a perfect fit, it's a considerably better alternative than that. We've now held that in place with a couple of push panel fixings into the existing holes, and the job is a good one. So that's our T5 to T6.1 facelift completed at last. Have to say I've really enjoyed the job. I've reflected on it in previous videos, but in simple terms I would say don't be scared to have a go. It's not difficult. Take your time, do it methodically, and with the help of these videos you really should have no difficulties whatsoever. In terms of my choice of kit, I remain absolutely happy that I went with the Travelin-lite kit, and I'm delighted with the fact that most of it's VW original parts. Also, I'm really happy with the fact that I chose the T6.1 front end. It would have been very easy to have saved a few quid and just upgraded to a different T5 front end or a T5.1. I know now if I'd done that, I would have regretted that decision. So I'm really happy that I went T6.1. Guys, I hope you're still enjoying the channel. We've still got lots of great videos to come, because now that we've got the van back from paint and we've got the outside work completed, it's time to finish off the pop top and the interior, and there'll be videos on that coming very soon. So please, if you're enjoying this, please like the channel, please follow us, and I'll look forward to maybe seeing you sometime in the future. Thanks so much for tuning in. All the best. Bye for now.